Hey, what's up guys? It's Zach the Gear Guy, OGE, coming back at you with another predictions video. This of course being episode 13 of the predictions. And we are going to be predicting SHW 50. Yes, as you can see, Gary Lamb and Jake the Snake Roberts have done another great job of putting another awesome card together for us to enjoy. This is of course our 50th show, so congratulations to SHW. Congratulations to making 50 shows. It is really extremely phenomenal. This being our 50th show. Just a couple of disclaimers before I get into the predictions here. All thoughts in this video are my own. Nobody's paid me, nobody's bribed me, persuaded me, anything of a sort, to pick one team, one person over the other. So all thoughts are my own. And if you have not already, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss an upload. Also, comment down below your predictions, your thoughts, your reactions as well. And before we get started, I just want to ask you, do you guys, I know this one came in late, but do you guys like, how I'm uploading these now, or do you guys prefer me now that AEW Dark and AEW Elevation are now cut? Would you guys prefer Monday or Tuesday? Let me know in the comments as well, what day you'd prefer these to come out. I'd really appreciate it. So without further ado, let me get the card. And as my favorite YouTuber always says, let's do this. First off, we are starting with the SHW Tag Team title match. That being Owen Knight and Najasism, representing the Grand Club allies, taking on the current tag team champions, Happy Madness, Sunny Days, and Sal Rinauro. Sunny Days and Sal Rinauro coming off an SHW type championship tag team title match. Lost, but they still retained the belts by disqualification to the Higharchy, Joe Black and Murder One. So they are like an MJF, a Roman Reigns type, if you will. Retain the titles by any means necessary. Is a good way to look at what Happy Madness is doing. Now let me throw out some SHW history for those of you real quick. Happy Madness did beat another Grind Club aligned team for the tag team titles, that being All-Star Special, Hold My Beer Hansen and William Huckabee, to become the new champions. So it wouldn't shock me if some way, somehow, Happy Madness retains those titles on Friday night. But you know what? It's SHW 50. It's our big show. I wouldn't be shocked if Happy Madness still wins those titles, but I'm going to say Owen Knight and Naja should have a good chance of winning the tag team titles. Speaking on the opposite end of the spectrum, you've got the Higharchy, Murder One, Joe Black, two-finger salute there, taking on the Nawfside Heroes, making their SHW debut, are Nawfside Heroes. Nawfside Heroes to you. Thank you for coming. After what happened last month, from that disqualification, win by Salvanaro to retain the SHW tag team titles, the Higharchy must be livid. So I'm gonna go Higharchy here. First up, we have one of 4 Jake the Snake Roberts Legacy title tournament matches. That being Chip Day taking on AC Mack. Obviously Chip Day, the 2-time technical wrestler of the year. And AC Mack just coming off winning as one of the co-winners of the Georgia Wrestling History Awards Wrestler of the Year. Now I like both Chip and AC, but right now, I do think that, depending if one individual in question, the other half of the co-winners, who I'll get to in just a moment, distracts AC, I see Chip, getting the victory here. But if AC remains focused, I see him. So the best part for me is to just be neutral here. I like Chip, I like AC, but the individual in question is up next because in a Jake the Snake Legacy tournament title match, it is Shoot Taylor, otherwise AEW fans might remember him from AEW Elevation, AEW Dark as Blake Lee, taking on the Approved's Nick Halen. Now, I'm good friends with Shoot and I'm good friends with Nick, but personally, if Nick Halen gets distracted by AC Mack in any way, shape, or form, Shoot Taylor has an odd chance of winning. Same could be said for Chip Day in the Chip Day AC match, with Nick Halen obviously being the second co-winner of the Georgia Wrestling History Awards Wrestler of the Year. I do think AC and Nick Halen are on a Lance Archer, Cody Rhodes path, where one of them comes back and says like, hey, I didn't expect it to be a co-winner, I will prove why I am the top wrestler in Georgia. So eventually I do think somewhere down the line that collision course is going to happen and take course of action somehow, some way. But my pick here is going to be Nick Halen. I think Nick Halen's going to take the win here. But our third Jake the Snake Legacy title tournament match will be the Kenway taking on 1/3 of Exotic Youth, Zach Mosley. Zach Mosley is just coming back from injury, and I don't know if I'm expecting Bryce Cannon and Cornelius Pepperbottom, at least on paper. We don't know if they're going to go if Zach's going to go solo, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cornelius and Bryce showed up to support Zach in this match. But the Kenway really has impressed me and the SHW fandom alike, taking Chip Day to nearly his limit in a 20-minute or 30-minute match in his debut last month. So, I do think that Kenway is going to impress a lot of people this evening and move on to the Jake the Snake Roberts Legacy title tournament. Next up, and then in our fourth Jake the Snake Legacy tournament title match. Say that 5 times fast if you're at home. In a fatal 3-way, it's going to be the man who I actually think is going to take it all. Not meaning to be unbiased here, but we'll see. Carly Bravo, then you've got Zicky Dice, and you've got Rob Killjoy, one half of the Ugly Ducklings. Zicky Dice and Rob Killjoy it's actually their returns to SHW as well, seeing that I haven't seen Zicky in SHW since SHW 45, which I wasn't actually there for due to reasons, but last time I saw him was Rumblejack, and Rob Killjoy is coming back after SHW 40. Welcome back, Rob Killjoy. Welcome back, Zicky. But I'm going to have to go with Carly Bravo, because Carly last month, after that deep cut promo saying, hey, I don't care who is in this tournament, who I have to face, I will be the next Jake the Snake Roberts legacy title holder at the end of this tournament. I believe that Carly has found that attitude to get a title match, or at least hold a title within SHW. So I do think Carly has got to be a favorite to win this tournament. And I think a favorite to win this match. This match with Carly Bravo, Zicky Dice, and Rob Killjoy could be the second match of the night that people leave talking about, being that, freeway, four-way matches tend to get people talking whenever it comes to wrestling. Next up, we have a singles contest, not related to the tournament or anything else, just a singles contest. We have Alexander Moss. I think it's called, The Absolute Truth. Alexander Moss goes one-on-one with the new returned Ashton Starr. Ashton has been on a roll ever since returning to SHW. He's kind of found that love to come back for it again, and I'm all here for it. It was great seeing him back last month. There's definitely a new attitude to Ashton. So I do think, whilst it's nice, I've heard great things about Alexander. But I gotta say, I'm gonna go with Alexander. Could pull off an upset, but I'm gonna go with Ashton, just because Ashton's returned, and it's and he's kind of found another appreciation for what Southern Honor has done for him. And then that brings us to the main event of the evening, the Southern Honor Wrestling title match. That being the Priest of Punishment, the ever-elusive, withdrawn, reserved Michael Judas, taking on Gunnar Miller for the title. Man, this is a rematch that I have wanted to see. Just me in general. I've wanted to see this rematch ever since SHW 34, when it happened back in December. Because you've got two big bulls going one-on-one in a ring for a title. And one could theorize that Judas has had opportunities, that being still here free in the War Chamber, and also at SHW 39, where he was mainly focused on getting his hands on his then opponent at the time, Cyrus, at SHW title gold. But I still think that this is a fact here, that Judas came out of War Chamber and basically said at SHW 33, there is not one man in this world that can pin me alone. I have never seen Judas be pinned in an SHW ring before. Um, but I do know he's held championships elsewhere outside of SHW, most notably Southern Fried. And he's held the SHW tag team title alongside Corey Hollis as Lethal Poison in SHW. And both these men live in gyms. Both these men are like 6 feet. The only differences I think about is I have spoken with Gunner, but I still have to speak. I haven't spoken to Judas yet. But you know, this is going to be tough because last time this match even happened, if I remember correctly, it was during that insane storyline with Gunner and Tank where Tank's music would hit middle of matches and would ultimately cost Gunner. I think that's one of those where Nathan Mowry, one of our camera guys, came down dressed as Reverend Dan, distracted Gunner, and ultimately cost Gunner the match. But without any further distractions, I do think that Gunner could retain here. But there is also the possibility now that Judas is out on his own after seemingly taking out the newly returned Corey Hollis by spiking him with the exact same spike that he took out Cyrus with a few months back. There is a likelihood we could see Judas become the new champion if the ref doesn't see it. But I'm going to have to say, Judas, please don't be watching this, but I'm going to have to say Gunnar Miller retains the title, but I cannot express, that there is potential we see Judas dethrone Gunnar Miller, and have his own reign of terror. But I'm gonna say Gunnar Miller, but until I have, not answers, but like at least until I'm proven wrong, my gut's telling me Gunner's gonna win, but my mind's saying, well, you can't ignore a Judas victory here. So anyway, let me run down my predictions once again for those of you who have made it this far. My predictions are the SHW Tag Team title match. Owen Knight and Naja, new SHW Tag Team champions. Although I can't rule out a Happy Madness victory. Higharchy versus Northside Heroes. I'm going to go Higharchy here. Chip Day versus AC Mac. I am neutral here. Shoot Taylor versus Nick Halen. I'm going to go with Nick Halen. Kemway versus Zach Mosley. I'm going to go with Kemway. Fatal Freeway, Carly Bravo, Zicky Dice, Rob Killjoy. I am going to have to go with Carly Bravo here. Alexander Moss, The Absolute Truth, taking on Ashton Starr. I'm going to go with Ashton Starr here. Judas versus Gunnar Miller. I'm going to go with Gunnar Miller. But my mind is telling me do not count out a surprise Judas victory here. Well, that has been my predictions for SHW 50. And I will see you all in the next episode of the rLogs.